Have you ever felt style stumped post-baby? If that is the case, you are so not alone. I was there longer than I would like to admit as a new mother, but this video is all about helping you get your groove back. We are going to be looking at fashion and function and some great examples of how to create what I'm calling the cool mom look. Hello, welcome to Stylecast. I'm your host and style coach, Greta Eagan, and this week's video is a good old-fashioned style cast where I give you outfit inspiration based on the weather for the week ahead. So I'm giving you looks to wear for the week ahead based on the weather I'm forecasting for Santa Barbara and the Central and Southern California coast. So you can always add or subtract a layer to make these looks work for where you are. Now my theme this week is what I'm calling cool mom style, because I just want to relate this back for a minute. I feel like there has been a little bit more chatter about how a mother, or how a woman rather, loses their sense of style post-baby. And I just think that this is something that doesn't get talked about enough, and I really want to bring some attention to it. Plus, I am in the heart of cool mom style here in Montecito, California. So I've had a lot of amazing inspiration all around me, and it just felt very appropriate and timely to give you some outfits that address this particular topic. Let's talk about who is inspiring me as a mom now, because it has definitely changed as I've become a mother, and it just hits differently. Fashion, because you are as a mother always thinking about the form and the function. Is it going to work? Is it going to cross over from a daytime activity into an evening activity? Is it going to be comfortable enough that you can run after your toddler? All of the things I have taken into consideration for this video. So I want to highlight Anine Bing. So she is based here in Montecito. She has great style, that cool mom style, that vibe that I'm talking about, where everything is pulled together but relaxed. And I'm going to be highlighting some of the things that I did that really helped me step into this cool mom vibe that I was seeking after I had my baby. And there are just a few things, and you can see them over and over again. One of the things that we can see with Anine is she always is wearing denim in a really cool way. She likes to have like a crop denim. She does love the skinny jeans, so if you're into that, she's a good example. You could do a barrel jean. She also does sometimes do the wide leg or straight leg, but denim is a huge staple for her, and I think for moms in general, it is a great category to lean into. And then I would also say sunglasses. She is always spotted with some cool sunglasses, and you would be surprised by how just a little accessory like that, a good pair of frames, can really elevate the look. Another thing that she does really well is footwear that is a little bit elevated, but also on that cool scale. So from sneakers to slides and mules, to even boots and ankle boots, she definitely brings her A game, and it always elevates the outfit. The next place that I looked for style inspiration was not actually a person, but a brand. And Jenny Kane is very popular here in the Montecito, Santa Barbara area. And so I had to highlight it because it is just a staple in all of our wardrobes here. And you can see why, because it's all about that coastal cool vibe. And they're constantly pairing luxury fabrics in classic cuts with neutral colors, again with denim and linen and cashmere, just a lot of these very versatile fabrics that are going to be easy to wear and breathable, and also in this neutral color palette, very wearable, very mix and matchable. So I just want to touch on my story as I went from maiden into motherhood. In case it resonates with any of you, I work in the fashion industry, am a style coach, and have been a stylist for many years. And even I found it so challenging to know what my style was as a mom and step into that new identity. And I think that's a really big piece, because it is an identity shift. It really is such a huge moment in your life. And so I just want to give that to you so that hopefully you are giving yourself some grace if you're going through this and you are feeling lost. With all of that said, I do want to give you some of my tips on how I have finally come around out the other side, feeling like I know who I am, I know what my style is, and it did take a couple of years. I will mention that too. I really went through a period where I was trying new things. My poor husband, I would get rentals because I was doing Rent the Runway and I was trying out new things, mostly like for fit and style, and just really trying to figure out, okay, how do I dress myself now? And part of it is that my body was still changing, and that's a big thing to go through for sure. The other part was that I think I had this idea that when I became a mother, I needed to be more grown up, and that meant that I needed to be more conservative somehow. And it really tripped me up, and it really had a big impact on my personal sense of self and my confidence, my sexiness, my style. All of that was really challenged. And so I think in hindsight, it was a good thing and I grew a lot, but it was a process. So I just want to say that so that if any of you are going through this, you can know that it is perfectly normal. Anyway, let me get into my tips because these are the things that I have found have made a difference, and maybe they will help you out too. One of the first things that I did was I swapped my heels for flats. And you may have done this already when you were pregnant. I know I certainly did. But I do find that as a mom, because we are literally carrying a baby around, maybe they're strapped in a carrier for a while, or then they're a toddler on your hip, all of those things, you're running after them, you do really need to be mobile. And I have found that moving to a flat shoe is a necessity as a mom, but there is a way to do it and still retain your coolness. I would say a great sneaker, a flat that is maybe the mesh style or even a jelly mesh style is super cute, and a sandal or a flat form like the Birkenstocks, those are still going super strong. And even the mules that have come in are super, super cute and very wearable. The second thing I did is I swapped out some of my basics. Although I will always have my t-shirts and tanks and things in my wardrobe, I did feel like I wanted some pieces that were just a little bit more refined so that I could go from day to night a little more seamlessly. And so I swapped out my tanks, some of them for like a sleeveless button down, and started wearing more blouses and shirts that have just like a little bit more going on than your everyday basic. And I think that's a good tip. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, I like the neutral colors in ivory or black, white, navy. All of those are a go-to for your wardrobe. But just by having something that's not always just a t-shirt, or if you're gonna do a t-shirt, maybe something with a little embroidery on it that elevates it, all of those things can make such a difference. Tip number 3, I've already talked about with Anine because she just embodies it so naturally, which is to have really good accessories. So shoes, sunglasses, bag. Just if you can nail those 3 things with pieces that you love, brands that you love that feel like you, colors that feel like you, textures that you love, then you can have more of a neutral wardrobe, as I was sort of talking about in the last point. And it's just gonna keep everything looking really good together, but a bit more polished. And this is where you can have a little bit of fun. You might wanna bring in a pop of color with your shoes, or you might want to have a really cool bag in a woven texture. Something like that will be something that will really help you feel more pulled together. And I will say, if you can, go for a designer piece. Again, it's just something that will elevate the look and make you feel more pulled together. And as a mom, because we are wearing outfits that are so versatile for the daytime activities that we do with our children, and then maybe going straight to a coffee date with a girlfriend or a lunch, or we're then going grocery shopping and doing errands and then take everyone out to dinner after school. These are the outfits, these are the looks that we are building upon, and by having those accessories that are just a little bit nicer, a little bit higher end, it really translates and brings everything up a notch. And my last point is to invest in quality basics. And I guess I've already been talking about this in the previous 2 points, and that's because it just is so important to have a wardrobe staples that you know you can wear and that they are going to hold up, and the shape and the color, everything is going to last after you've worn and washed it multiple times. So I've really learned to find the brands that work for me and really appreciate that they may be a higher price point, but what I'm getting for that price point is the longevity. And that makes a huge difference. I'm not only sustainability wise, which is great, but it's also about building a wardrobe that really does work for you and reflect your style, and not having to keep reinventing the wheel. So if you buy pieces that don't hold up, then you have to go buy more pieces and new pieces, and you have to find those again. And it takes a lot of energy, a lot of mental and physical energy. And so I would say, if you can, when you start to find your brands, just go deep into those brands and invest where you know that the colors and the cuts and the fabrics work for you. All right, that's a little overview on where I'm coming from as a mom and my style journey. I hope that that can be helpful to you. And of course, we are now going to get into some of those looks so I can give you some outfit inspiration for the week ahead. Let's do that now. Monday has a high of 84, a low of 66, and it is sunny and beautiful here in Santa Barbara. I styled this look up for a trip to the library. So I'm gonna be giving you different real life scenarios of where you might be going with your kiddos and what to wear. So first off, I want to highlight my button-down sleeveless shirt. This harks back to one of my style tips, which is to swap out a t-shirt with a blouse or a blouse top like this, so that you can just elevate your look a tiny bit more than the average. I would say that Doen is a great resource for these kinds of shirts. I'm going to have everything linked up for you below, with a few other options, of course, including ones that are the same or similar to what I am wearing and styling. But I'm also going to pack in a few other options so that you really can shop this capsule wardrobe for your cool mom wardrobe. Moving on, I did pair this with my jeans. Now again, this is a core staple. I love these jeans. They are cropped, they have the raw hem. These kind of details, the raw hem makes a huge difference for that cool mom aesthetic. It takes everything and just makes it a little bit easier, a little more casual. With the cropped length, it is very wearable, especially here in California. Pairing it with some slides or even sneakers or a pair of sandals, this is going to be the perfect quintessential California look. And of course, you can finish that off with a pair of statement sunglasses and your tote bag for when you are on the go. Tuesday, we're having a high of 84, a low of 65, and very sunny yet again. So this is what I would call a beach or pool day, perfect for getting into the water. And what I would do is start with a tank dress. Now you could do a mini or a midi. I've opted for a midi tank dress here. So easy and wearable. Again, finding one of these tank dresses that really accentuates your body in the right places, has a really nice cut. I also would say that perhaps it might be worth sizing up one in the tank dress just so you get a little bit more room and movability. Just feels like a more easy and relaxed piece that is more comfortable to wear throughout the day, and also really helps me transition from day to night effortlessly. So speaking of day to night, so I did want to pair this with flat sandals. I have my Birkenstocks here, which are great for daytime. I would say a pair of slides, even sort of those metallic slides that I love to wear, would be great with this. And then you do want to have a layer. So I would do a button down I love just like an oversized button down with a tank dress. I think it feels really cool, and again, just sort of easy breezy for your daytime look. It gives you a little sun protection. I would suggest swapping out that button down for more of like a long oversized cardigan for the evening, or even a cropped cardigan would work here too. And that will help you transition into evening, because I know a lot of times we are just going straight all day from the daytime activities out to dinner or into dinner, and this will help you transition. Wednesday, we have a high of 83 and a low of 64. It is yet again sunny. And this is a day that I have pinned for a museum visit. It is hot, hot, and if you're not going for water, you might want to go somewhere where there's a lot of AC. So I have pinned this as my museum outfit, what to wear when you're going inside. Again, I am going for a dress option here. This one is a little bit more of a flowy midi dress, and this is a really good time to wear your dresses that are maybe starting to transition from summer into fall. You might be leaning into some of the fall colors like I did here with this pistachio green. And then of course I am going to pair it with a flat shoe. I've got my flat sandals here, or I think you could even do a sneaker or a mule. All of those are a really good choice. Again, just to keep the outfit feeling really everyday, really wearable. And I paired on top my shacket in the army green color. So you can see how all of these pieces are starting to come together to create this cool mom vibe. It is a je ne sais quoi, something that is just a little bit relaxed, but there's style elements, but it's not overdone. It just really is this beautiful blend of getting wearable pieces together in a casual and very wearable way. Thursday, we have a high of 81, a low of 62, and it is mostly sunny, so there might be a little bit of cloud coverage, and I have decided that this will be the day for doing chores around the house, maybe going out for a hike, which I love to do with my son. So I am giving you more of sort of like that athleisure look. And I like to start with either a pair of the high-waisted biker shorts, they're definitely still going strong, or a pair of leggings. I will say with the temps being as high as they are, I'd probably go for the shorts, but if you wanted to, you could do the leggings here as well and sort of start to lean into fall. And then I just paired that with a bra top in a matching color, so it's black on black. And then the piece that I want to highlight here is, instead of like a zip hoodie, which might just look a little too frumpy, I did go for this new sort of box style cashmere sweater. And I think, and it doesn't have to be cashmere, but I do think the box style sweater or sweatshirt is going to elevate your look, help you feel a little bit more styled, help you feel a little bit more current in how you are dressing with your off-duty mom style. And so anyway, this is something that when it's cool in the morning before the sun comes out and really heats things up, that you will wear. Otherwise, I think over the shoulders and tied is going to be great as well. And then I do like to add the fanny pack. Again, just real day mom attire here. I am always wearing this fanny pack to keep my hands free, but everything on me that I need. This is definitely a real wearable piece that I bring pretty much everywhere. Friday, we have a high of 78, a low of 59, and it is sunny. So this is the day that I have slated for the zoo, or perhaps you would do it as like an aquarium visit. What I want to highlight here is that I actually picked up a new tank, and I think sometimes getting a basic that is in more of a modern cut, a modern style, will just breathe new life into your wardrobe and get you excited about how to wear it and what to pair it with. That certainly happened for me with this piece, and this is from the Perfect White Tee. It's just a tank in an oatmeal color, which I was not seeking out, but when I was in the store, I was so attracted to it. I brought it home, I started pairing it with everything and was so happy with this purchase because it is the perfect tee. It sits in the right spot. Bra straps don't hang out. I like the scoop in the front. It's modest, but it still shows some skin. It's just all the things you want. And I paired that with some denim shorts. Now, these shorts I think are good for sure. They're what I have in my wardrobe. If you were looking to build your wardrobe, I might do more of the cutoff style, some of the style inspiration that we saw with Jenny Kane. They were styling with that, and I do think that's, again, maybe more of a modern piece to bring into your wardrobe at this point that might just feel a little bit more elevated, a little bit more special. I'll have some of those linked for you in this capsule wardrobe so that you can shop those if you're feeling inspired. And then I would say to bring a cardigan. I love this cardigan. This one is from Jenny Kane, actually. I've had it for years, and it just, again, it goes with everything. It's a high quality garment that I'm going to have for years, and it pairs so nicely just to give you that little layer that you might need. It's a little bit luxe, it just translates a little bit better than if it was like a poly blend sweater. It just has, it has that softness to it. It has that luxe textile to it. So as we are building our cool mom wardrobe, I do think something like this is a staple piece to invest in. And then here I might do a crossbody bag, or I might just do the fanny pack again so that my hands are free and all of my important things are secure. Hat, sunglasses perhaps, and either a sneaker or a sandal. That is what I have for you in this week's video. If you have made it this far, please give us a thumbs up and be sure to hit the subscribe button. It was so nice to hang out with you and spend some time talking about this very important topic, how to be stylish and functional as a mom. And I hope that this video helped you out. If you guys can relate to this at all, I'd love to continue the conversation in the comments. And until next week, have a beautiful day and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.